the Biden regime and the media don't want to talk about what's actually going on, and they certainly don't want you to know what's going on in Bakhmut. Go back to that New Yorker piece you're reading. I'd like if you reread that right now, and let's talk about Bakhmut and what actually happened there.
When you talk about this, and here's an example from a Ukrainian. The Wagner forces brought in waves of convicts that proved too much for the Ukrainians, who were still reeling from Kherson's battle, had not yet replenished their ranks and materiel. The commander of the battalion, a 39-year-old lieutenant colonel named Pavlo, said of the Wagner fighters, they were like zombies. They used the prisoners like a wall of meat. It didn't matter how many killed, they kept coming. Within weeks, the battalion faced annihilation. Entire platoons wiped out in close contact firefights. Some 70 men encircled and massacred. The dwindling survivors, one officer told me, became useless because they were so tired. One Russian said that because they're losing so many, I'm skipping ahead a little bit here, because they're losing so many troops, they're now on the Ukrainian side forced to bring in new draftees. But the problem with the new draftees is that every time you do a mobilization, you're now running out of experienced, trained fighters. And Ukraine's already seen several waves of general mobilization at this point. That means the people you're getting in, you're getting civilians, you're getting people with no experience, people who spent maybe the first time they've ever held a gun is the one you gave to them, and you're sending those kids up to the front lines now. This is basically Germany at the very end of World War II in the Battle of Berlin, where it's all kids and senior citizens that are holding the line at the very end, because all of the trained fighters in the Wehrmacht had been completely wiped out at that point. And then you hear things, these guys don't have the stamina, they get scared, they panic. And one line, where was it? He said, there's a phenomenon that they're seeing because of the high attrition rate called reverse natural selection. Reverse natural selection. Because seasoned infantrymen, and it mentions a few of them here, became extremely fatigued and then go AWOL, because they say they get into a bad place psychologically and they need a break. Then they run back home. Then they're running back to the trenches out of a sense of guilt and a sense of loyalty. But that being said, keep in mind, when you're on that zero line up there, every single night, you are under the rain of hellfire from the Russian artillery. So again, when we keep reporting, this goes on. It's easily a 10,000-word article. And if you're looking for some reporting this weekend that you can say, look, this isn't Human Events, this isn't the War Room, this is from the New Yorker, saying that you are putting people into the meat grinder over there. And in fact, it's cannon fodder. That's what's going on. You've got cannon fodder on both sides that are being thrown at each other. And if the United States continues on this path, then you might start to see Americans being drafted up and called for this specifically because we've got some obsession with winning this fight.